Hey guys, Millie Weaver here. So I wanted to give you guys an update on the East Palestine, Ohio train derailment that recently happened. Now, I've been following this story very closely because I actually happen to live close to the area, about 35 miles or so out from where this derailment took place. So definitely, it has been on my radar. So actually, my father, who happened to be a regional manager for a major railroad company, is a great person who has a lot of knowledge on trains and how rail companies happen to respond to these type of situations. So there was a lot of speculation going around on the internet, people being upset about how the situation was handled. And initially, I was really upset too, because I'm thinking, why on earth in any situation would you ever need to burn the vinyl chloride into the atmosphere to then have it rain down acid rain on the people in the community? And really and truly, it's never a good situation in general. So what could have justified them making that call? So I reached out to my dad, and one of the first things I asked him about was there anything that these rail companies did that was not in proper protocol?
It's a very bad situation. The train it has a lot of nasty chemicals in it. It has some dry chemicals that will burn, and it's just not a good scenario all the way across the board.
When you looked at the manifest, did it look like they did everything as usual or by the book, or did you see anything that looked out of place?
Everything looked like they were on top of it. I mean, you can't have any hazardous chemical cars right next to the locomotive or right next to the caboose, and you can't have a whole lot of them together. You got to kind of mix and match with other kind of cars. I mean, there was a Semolina car in there, which is a flour car, and there was plastic pellet cars in there. So they did what they needed to do by just kind of keeping everything separated. But when you have like just a mix up like that where they all pile on top of each other, I mean, it just creates a really bad scenario.
And so after he looked at the manifest, which, initially we were concerned about how many hazardous train cars there were compared to the non-lethal or hazardous cars, because there are rules and regulations regarding spacing of these cars inside the train. So after he looked at the manifest, he said that overall, it looks like they were following proper protocol, and you could see that they didn't have the hazardous ones up against the locomotive or the caboose. And they did properly follow that protocol with having other tanks carrying non-lethal substances spaced between. In an article I was reading about how they actually, one of the tankers was malfunctioning, like the valve or something. And
Right.
Can you explain that? What does that mean when there's a valve malfunctioning?
Yeah, if you look at the call out on it, like it's a DOT 105, that's 100-pound or 100 psi tank, and it's rated. They're usually tested a little higher than that, but on a 105 DOT 105, the safety valves are 75 psi. So, what happens when you get a car in a derailment and the PRV, a pressure relief valve, doesn't work? Is the pressure inside the tank gets heated from the fire on the outside, and it heats the flammable gas on the inside to the point where the rail car will no longer hold the chemicals, and it explodes. And it's like a square mile radius that it just will flatten everything. And what they call that is a levee. So that's probably the worst thing or scenario that you could have if you have a flammable tank car with a failed safety relief device. So if you have that and you have a flame next to it, you're building pressure, and you're got to do one or two things. You either got to get rid of that pressure or get rid of the flame, and it doesn't sound like they're able to put the flame down.
He said that whenever they do a burn, it is always a last resort. It was going to possibly levee, which means the pressure would be so great inside that no longer would the walls be able to hold that pressure, and that's when you get a massive explosion. So when these train cars levy, it can literally take out a square mile radius, like flatten it, all right? And it can send the tank flying through the air like a rocket, which could then land on someone or injure someone. So this could have been a situation where a massive explosion with a mile square radius, spewing flames, heat blasts, heat waves, as well as chemicals, right? Because that's what usually happens. So there are other videos out there on the internet of these levees, just so you guys can actually see the magnitude of what that looks like. I'm gonna play a little clip for you guys right here.
Some of the most spectacular levees have occurred at train derailments. 1983. A wrecked train with 11 tank cars holding highly combustible materials bursts into flames near Murdoch, Illinois. It chooses to stay behind, a half mile from the flames.
The fire is making a sound like a jet liner taking off. Something apparently blew up just a couple of minutes ago and started this big roar of flames and the sound of a jet liner.
What the news crew doesn't know is that the noise they are hearing is a warning of an impending levee carrying propane gas. Moments after the reporter signs off, 30,000 gallons of boiling propane push the tank's metal walls to the breaking point.
Okay, get the tape on. Leave it up.
The news crew feels the heat wave from the blast. In this blast, rockets nearly 3/4 of a mile into a field.
At the Murdoch explosion, the propane car that levied set a record and traveled 3,640 feet.
As night falls, the flames finally make their way to a nearby tank car filled with highly flammable isobutane. This latest levee creates a blinding whiteout as 50,000 gallons of fuel is ignited.
So now that you've seen that levee could have taken place inside of a populated area in East Palestine. This is a town, okay? So now it makes sense as to why they had to initially do an evacuation order for people who were living within a mile of the derailment.
When you have a scenario like that, the first thing you do is you're gonna take things to the worst case scenario. You're gonna say, well, what could possibly happen here? And so that's a precaution. I mean, that's a real danger. If what happens under a levee, and you can see there's a lot of videos online about levees, is that it'll rip that tank car in half and it'll send half of it a half a mile away. It'll just get it airborne. So it'll flatten a lot of things out. It's just not something you want to take lightly. If you have that scenario, you want to get everybody safely away and as far away as you can, and then you're going to kind of try to deal with the issue.
The main thing here that we need to look into is actually what caused the derailment. So was it a equipment malfunction that happened? Was it the rail? What was going on that caused it? Security camera footage that was captured in Salem, Ohio. They captured flames underneath the axle of one of these train cars. And so that's something that's definitely a concern. So this was 20 minutes before this happened and quite a ways away from where the derailment took place.
Sparks and flames underneath this Norfolk Southern train, and this was 20 miles before it derailed. The derailment, as we all now know, sent dangerous chemicals into the air and forced thousands of people from their homes for days.
Now the question is, when did the crew know that there was a problem?
I spoke today with a retired Norfolk Southern engineer, Scott Wilcox, who lives in Avonmore.
How would that person know there was an issue?
Generally speaking, after the length of the train has passed over the detector, it will tell you there are no problems found.
The NTSB has obtained the train's data recorder and audio recordings. Those are being analyzed at an NTSB lab in Washington, D.C.
Now, the agency is also checking whether all the detectors were working properly. If the detector in Salem was working and there was no issue, Wilcox says generally it will send a message saying no problem found. The NTSB is expected to release its preliminary findings within 30 days.
My dad was saying how they actually have sensors on these rails that allow them to be able to pick up if there are wild wheels or if there's hunting going on.
The crew did receive an alarm from a wayside defect detector shortly before the derailment indicating a mechanical issue. Then an emergency brake application initiated.
We need to look further into who was informed, were they informed, did those sensors properly send signals to the train stations or to the conductors or to these people who are supposed to be monitoring them and warn them, and did they choose to just keep allowing this train to continue on further, or were they not aware?
The NTSB says there was an alert, but it is not known if it came from the hotbox detector in Salem or the next one down the track 20 miles away in East Palestine, where that derailment happened. And if the alert wasn't triggered when the train passed Salem, why not?
One of the other ways I think that there was a lot of negligence in this issue was actually how they handled the notification to the public. Personally, I didn't see enough notification until way after, when a lot of this started trending more in the media. We have these Amber Alert systems, these emergency communication systems. I don't understand why they aren't putting out these warnings about the drinking water. These, especially some of the people that live along the Ohio River.
I want my water tested, every week, at least every week for the next few months until we get a nice, recorded record of several tests that says it's free and clear of anything.
Now that's a lot of chemicals there. Depending on the size of the tank, it's probably 15 to 17,000 gallons of just chemical there. And so, what do you do with it when it comes out? You can't really bring a truck in and suck it all up. If you set it on fire, it'll burn. But yeah, I don't really think I've heard this happening before. But it sounds like they're in a really bad situation, because you get that stuff in the water system and you get it into the ground. It's really not a good thing.
There's a lot of people living in those communities, and geez, the Appalachia area is very impoverished, and so they don't have very much money or means. Many of them don't even pay for cable TV, so they need to be actually using those alert systems to notify people. I had checked on Google Maps and on AccuWeather, and they were reporting that the air quality was fine just days after this event in my area and in the area of East Palestine. So that's an issue, because many people were just going about their lives like nothing happened, playing outside, letting school children play outside. And that is something that I think definitely we should all be upset about. Why did they not alert people more? Why did they not try to, help people protect their own safety?
Back here at home, Louisville Water says our water is safe to drink right now, but they're anticipating a plume of chemicals to reach us after leaking into the Ohio River during that chemical spill. Louisville water experts say the chemical involved is used to produce plastics and resins. The biggest impact, they say, would actually be the smell of the water.
Well, just by glancing at the report, it didn't say, it said that they didn't have any leaking coming from the polyvinyl chloride, but the pressure relief valves had been releasing, except for the one that they're having issue with, and that the gas coming out of the relief valves are on fire. But what I did see is that there's a glycol car in there that had lost its load, so I would be concerned with the glycol. That's really not something that you get in the groundwater, or you ingest. It's not a good thing.
Right. You were saying to me earlier, that it was tons of glycol, right?
A normal tank car is probably about 12,000 gallons, 12 to 15,000 gallons. ethylene glycol I think if I look at the report again, it said that one of the tank cars lost its load. So where did that go? It's on the ground somewhere. And if it's in a fire scenario and it's going to burn, it's just not good. It's not good inhalation. It's an inhalation hazard. And glycol is something that's not good for animals or good to drink. It's just not good for you.
This chemical is nasty. It is a carcinogen, and it is a clear liquid that has a slight sweet smell to it. So some of the rural people out there that have wells are definitely not going to be able to sense it or pick up on it with their sense of smell or taste.
A word of caution is just have your groundwater tested and keep on top of it for a while. Because some of the stuff that these things aren't good in the water. And I think that's the biggest risk right now.
It's so important. If you guys are living out in the Ohio area, just as I am, make sure you guys are going to your local water districts or your towns and asking for water reports to be done. So if you are on city water, ask for that water report. But if you also have a well, you can actually go and your township, your local government facilities there, they actually oftentimes do free well tests. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be doing a free water test. And of course my cat, she wants all the attention. So this is Gemma. But yeah, so definitely get a water test. I'm going to be doing it. I'm going to keep you guys updated on this situation as I find out more information. Anyway, guys, I'll keep you updated. Here's the other exciting news I have to announce tonight, which is I'm going to be premiering my new documentary, which is called Big Data is Watching. So Big Data is Watching is a documentary that I put together to really kind of show the dangers of AI, just how bad the data surveillance issue is in our society, and how they're literally using all of our data to actually build out these advanced AI to really replace us and to further control us and even to target us for our political opinions. We go into cancel culture, we go into censorship, we go into all these issues that we're now facing, and we actually show you guys ways that you guys can protect your family and operate more safely on the internet. And we it's interesting, I kind of go through a little timeline of my personal experiences as well throughout cancel culture. We have many different people you guys know featuring in this. You're going to see lots of people you recognize. So I hope you guys enjoy this tonight. All of my QX family, those of you guys who have supported us from the beginning, I'm excited to announce that you guys are going to be able to watch this live stream premiere tonight. It's just going to keep cycling here. So jump on there, watch the documentary. It's free on QX. And if you guys want to watch it and you aren't yet part of our QX family, which you should be and you can be if you just go to qx.tv, remember, and you can use promo code Millie to get a discount. But if you don't yet have a QX box and you just can't wait and you really want to watch this documentary, go to MillennialMillie.com where you can watch it there. And also, if you join me on Locals, so millieweaver.locals.com, you could join my community on Locals where I have been uploading this documentary. It's actually there and available for my Locals family. And so I'm going to be providing lots of exclusive content there. So I just hope you guys enjoy the film, and remember, get your QX box today. Before we go though, I am going to demonstrate and show you how awesome this is. We've been kind of chatting with someone right now, but I'm sure more people are going to get in here. So I'm actually going to type in the chat here, promo code Millie. There you go, promo code Millie for $15 off. All right, guys, so go to qx.tv, get your promo code, and let me go ahead and send that to the chat, which obviously our people in QX might not need that because they already have a QX box, but there you have it. See it in the chat right there. Promo code Millie for $15 off. And so you guys, I hope you all, if you got your QX box, get in on there, get it going. Enjoy the live chat with everyone, watch the show, And just in case you do need any tech support, because oftentimes we have people that were part of the test pilot program and they didn't ever set up their box, and they actually have to go through a series of updates that the test pilots went through. If you have not yet gone through those updates and you're deciding you just want to turn your box on because you're seeing that this thing's going and it's out the gate and we're starting to be using it more and more, go ahead and contact our customer support phone number, and I'll put it right here up on the screen. So call this number and we will literally help you, walk you through the entire thing. We've done this many times with people who, they're not the most tech savvy, and sometimes people need help, and that's perfectly fine. Sometimes it's just, plugging into the right thing or switching from your TV remote to your QX remote. So we will help you. Don't worry, don't feel shy. Call that phone number, and we hope to see you guys on the QX box. So awesome, guys. I hope you enjoy watching the premiere. I'm Millie Weaver, signing off.
Introducing the Portal Universe only on QUX. This is America's first super app. Easily build your portal, share and monetize video content, live stream, products, music, apps, and more. Engage in live chats and private video messaging. This isn't just a TV box or streaming device. This is your social television console. Become a merchant without any setup or monthly fees. Buy and sell using QUX tokens for private and secure encrypted transactions. You control the ads you watch. You control the content you see. You have easy access to products and services you want, all at the press of a button. QUX brings people together, enhances fellowship, community, and networking capabilities while protecting privacy like never before. Don't wait. Get yours before the sale ends. Go to QUX.tv right now and order your QUX TV box today. Be part of a new digital frontier.